Hello world, this is Lockpicking Dev. Today we're going to learn how to pick handcuffs. They're really basic, really simple mechanisms and really easy to pick once you get the motion down for them. First, let's go over the pieces that we have to the cuff. We have the cuff blade right here, and inside the top up here we have a cutaway, and the red pieces are our pawls. You can see how it grips onto the teeth of the shackle right there. So you push it in, it grips onto the teeth so we can't pull it out. The yellow piece is the spring, and the blue piece right there is the double locking mechanism. The way it works, our key is a hollow rod with a little nubbin on the end. When I stick it in the keyhole, it goes in. You can see, I'm trying to get the light off there. That little nubbin goes in. Let's see if I can get it zoomed in up there. There we go. So if I take it out, if I stick it in, that little nubbin goes in. It goes underneath and lifts the lip, the end lip of the pawls right there in order to open our handcuff like that. That's how that works. You can see how the top part of the pawls go into that hole of the double locking pieces up there, that blue part, how it fits perfectly in there. That's also how the double locking mechanism works. So if I take the key out and if I go, there's a hole on the side to do the double locking on this particular cuff. When I push it in, it'll move over like that. You can see how those two bars line up right there. Now these red pieces cannot move up and down. What that means is I can't push the cuff in anymore, and I definitely can't move it out. It prevents the pawls from moving up and down. So that's how our double locking mechanism works. So if I put the key back in and I turn it around, you can see the nubbin goes around right there. I'm trying to get the focus. There we go. You can see that nubbin goes around like there. Push the double locking mechanism out of the way, and then we can go back around and lift the pawls up to get her open. We'll be first focusing on picking the pawls first, and then I'll show you how to double lock next. We will be picking using bobby pins, and this is what the pick will look like. We'll start off with a normal bobby pin here. We'll unfold it. You can use the keyway to do the next part here, and you take your pair of pliers or something and strip off the end plastic piece on there like that, and then you'd only do about 2 or 3 millimeters of a bend on the end and about 30-degree bend. If you want to know how far that is, just bend it as far as up until where the black part of the paint starts. That's a perfect amount of bend. So up to where the part of the paint starts, and bend it about like that, 30 degrees. And that's what we'll use to pick these locks with. Like I mentioned, we're going to focus on picking the pawls first. So again, the key, we're going to mimic that little nubbin on the key. We're just going to go in. The nubbin lifts the pawls right there, just like that. That's what we're going to do with our pick. So the direction is typically in the keyhole, towards the teeth, and towards the meat of everything. So you go straight in, like that. Pull it back to get that curved part underneath the cuff metal right there, and then it's a swooping motion to the side. We see only got one of those pawls, so if it doesn't work, try it again. It's just getting that angle. There's our open. So what I want you to notice now is I'm not doing a twisting motion like a key. What I'm doing is, again, taking my pick, going straight in, just getting that pick in, pull it back to get the bent part underneath the clear part, which is the metal of the body, and then watch my hand. It goes to the side just like that. Notice I'm not twisting. I'm just doing it to the side. It's a rocking motion like that, or a swooping motion, however you want to think of it. So I'm going to do it one more time. If at first you don't succeed, you retry your angle. So go back in, pull it back, try your angle again. See, I didn't get that time. Go back in, try my angle. Not again. There we go, got it. And it is just a swooping or rocking motion to the side. And the way to think of it is I'm rocking it into, if it'll focus there, there we go. I'm rocking it from the top of the hole of the keyway into the top of the nubbin part of the keyway right there. Now we're going to do this on a pair of common handcuffs carried in the United States, the Smith Wesson Model 100. Our cutaway model is over here mimicked after Chicago style handcuffs, another common one, and these are Smith & Wessons. One thing you'll notice is over here on Chicago style there's 2 pawls. It also has 2 double lock bars in it. Our Smith & Wesson only has 1, so that makes it easier. So let's show you how it's done. It's the same motion as before, and so it is straight in the keyway, like that. We pull it back to seat it underneath that metal that we're getting underneath everything, and we're rocking it to the side. There we go. Easy open. This one's much easier. So kind of like I mentioned before, it's going straight in at the top of the circular part of the keyhole right there. Let's see if, there we go. Straight in right there. Pull it back to get that bent part under, and it's just a rocking motion to the side. I'm doing that really slow for you so you can see. One thing I'm not doing, if it'll focus, bastard, there we go. One thing I'm not doing is twisting it like a key. That's not how this works. Pull it back, rock it to the side. There we go. Each time I'm doing it, it just drops right open. These are really easy. There we go. So one more time. I'm going to do it on the outside of the cuff right here to demonstrate. I'm going to put it straight in, pull it back so that curved part gets underneath the metal there, and I'm just rocking it to the side like that. Notice how my pick does not twist. So in, back to get underneath the metal, rocking it to the side. The pressure you use to pick these locks is very, very minimal. They fall right open. Let me demonstrate. So if I put it in here, pull it back, I'm going to use my fingertips. You can see it just drops right open for you. From the weight of the cuff, it just drops open. So very tip of my fingers. See, it just drops right open. That's how easy these are to pick. So my tip here is that anytime you're pushing hard on something like, oh, it's just not working, it's not working, do not try harder. Do not put more muscle into it. That is the biggest tip. Do not try harder. Your angle's off. That is what's going on. So reinsert it, try your angle, and do it again. It just falls right open. You saw by the way of the cuff. I'll demonstrate that one more time. I'll use my very tips of my fingers. I stick it in, pull it back, move it to the side, and it just drops right open for you. One more time. There we go. Very easy pressure. If you're ever trying harder or adding muscle, you are doing it wrong. Retry your angle. So just like our cutaway, here is a pair of real Chicago style handcuffs over here. We'll demonstrate on that. So it works just the same, exactly the same. It is going in, straight in, pull it back to get it seated, and then rocking to the side. If at first you don't succeed, retry your angle. There we go. There's our open. So again, do it one more time, going in, pulling it straight back, and rocking to the side. If at first you don't succeed, retry your angle. What I mean by retry your angle is put it in all over again, and then start from the beginning, just like this, like that. Really easy. In, stay focused, there we go, sorry. In, back, swoop. Here's a pair of ASP cuffs. It's a little different because the keyhole is located in a different way and oriented in a different manner. It's still the same method though. In towards the teeth of the cuff and the bulk, and lifting it off of the teeth. So I'm going to go in at the top, right there. Zoom in here. I'm going to work around the keyway here. So get it around like that. There we go. So I'm on this side right there. There we go. Get the focus. And now it's again the same motion. So there we go. Got one of them, but not all of them. And there's our open. So there's all three. Same motion as you saw. So if I open it up, there we go. Get it to focus. You can see all three right there. You can see how when I'm doing this, I'm getting a couple at a time. And I have to go in, I have to retry my angle to get them. So even with 3 pawls, it works as well, just a little bit more difficult. This is a pair of Peerless 730C handcuffs. They're known for being really lightweight and good tolerances, so smaller keyhole. Still same motion. In towards the teeth, this one's in the middle, and you can tell which way to lift it because the nubbin's right here, so you have to twist the key around in order to lift something off the teeth. So the way I can describe that is if I put the key in right here, I have to twist this key all the way around in order for the nubbin to lift something off the teeth. That's how I know. So I need to go in the keyhole. I need to get my bobby pin around like that on that side. And this is where the pawl is going to get lifted, that little pawl right there. So I got to find it and try to get on it. There we go. There it is. So really hard to get. This one's only one pawl in there, but you see that tighter tolerances and a smaller keyhole will make it much much more difficult to get in there. Now we're going to go with a double locking mechanism. That is these blue bars right here. This is a Chicago style, so there are 2 bars in it, just like the 2 pawls. In order to engage the double lock, we take the rod of our handcuff key right here, stick it in this hole, and it'll push the bars over like that. And what that does, it aligns these 2 rods right here so the pawls cannot be lifted up and down. Usually that little rod right there will fit in the hole of the double locking mechanism. So if we see, now we stick our key in, turn around, we try to lift those pawls, it is blocked by the double locking mechanism and it will not go into that hole where it normally goes. So in order to pick the double lock now, we have to take our pick, go around the outside of the keyhole, get it aligned for you all, go around the outside of the keyhole right there, and you can see where our pick is. We need to push those blue bars out of the way, and you kind of push off the keyhole like that. So we got one of them. We try to get the other one. There we go. Now we got the other. So I had to get both of those. Now I can see how that hole's lined up. If I get our pick back around, that hole's lined up. So when we pick our pawls, they go right into that hole. There we go. And we get our open. So there we go. That is the double locking mechanism. Picking the double lock on Smith Wesson Model 100s is exactly the same, but easier since there's only 1 bar to pick. We can tell it's not double locked because you can see the bar in the window right there. So to make it locked, we stick a key in, the same rod, and we push that bar out of the way. When we don't see a bar in that window, that's how we know Smith & Wesson is double locked. But same method. If we go around, stick our pick in the keyway, go around the outside of the keyhole right there. This one's a little bit tougher to get around. It's a little bit tighter of a tolerance there. For some reason, there we go. We get around our keyhole right there, and I'm going to leave that cuff right there. So now you're going to see that bar pop right back in that window. There we go. So that's how we get our double lock. This one was actually easier than the Chicago style. The hard part was just getting around to that angle, and then after we get that, there we go. There's our open. The double lock on the ASP are surprisingly the easiest ones. It works the same as the Smith & Wesson. We're going to move this little green piece up in the window. There we go. That's how we know it's double locked. But in order to pick it, the key turns in one direction in order to unlock the double lock and open the cuff. So we stick our pick in. It's right at the top right here. Watch, it'll come out in the window. There we go. Double lock is already undone. So now we just got to continue going around our keyway. Get our pick around the keyway there. Around the keyway, there we go. And we just have to get our open after that. For pick prevention, there are cuffs like the Model X22 that have done basic, simple things. These are just like our cutaway Chicago handcuffs, except when we open it up, we look between the paws here. Zoom in. If we look between the paws, there is a piece of metal right there. So here we go. I'm trying to get this. Here we go. So that piece of metal right down the middle right there, that prevents picking. And that piece of metal is a big plate that goes all the way through the cuffs, all the way through there. Don't focus on the background, please. Focus on that. There we go. It's all the way through there. And so our key also has to be split as well. So if I do that, there we go. You can see how the key is split to go over that metal plate right there. And so when I put it in the keyhole, there we go. You can see it'll lift both of those at the same time now. If I rotate this, if I look in the keyhole there, you can kind of see the plate. So that is kind of a pain in the ass. It actually prevents the pick from hitting one of the pawls more so than the other one. And if I take my bobby pin here, I can demonstrate it actually makes it harder to get this pawl on this side of the cuffs. And that's because it's hard to get underneath the plate and get the curve of the pick well enough to lift that one right there. So let me see if I can demonstrate at least lifting the back ones. Let's get it in here. Weird angle. There we go. So I'm going to pull back. Nope. There we go. I think I got it just a little right there. Yep. Very barely, so it's hard to get, but right there in the back you can see I get that paw. But yeah, I cannot get the front paw right there. I'm trying. It is a pain in the ass. That plate just completely does it. So I'm not sure how pickable handcuffs like these are with these pick prevention plates in them, if they are pickable, I would assume that you might be able to find those on Coxie Pick's YouTube page himself. He is a world-class handcuff escapist and picker, so check him out for more content there. Now that we've learned a lot and learned how easy handcuffs are, a few final closing remarks and tips. When you're picking, make sure the keyholes are facing up towards your palms. That way when you bend your wrists, you can reach that keyhole right there. That way when you're picking, it's easy, or if you need a key, it's easy to reach and get out. The instructions that come with handcuffs say to have the keyhole on this side facing your wrist. That way it's hard to get to. That's what you're supposed to do when you're putting someone in custody. But we're picking, this is for fun, this is for sport, this is for recreation. Have the keyholes facing outwards. This is where the other important things come into play. Extra keys. Have an extra key, multiple extra keys. They're really cheap. Keep one in your pocket, your front pocket, your back pocket, and one with your friend. You want to have a friend there as well to help you if you get stuck. So the last thing you want is to go, from what I hear, I haven't been in this situation, is to go to a neighbor's house to knock on their door, ask them if they have a handcuff key or if they can call the police to get you out. So, when mentioning the police, the most important tip here is do not escape police custody. Picking handcuffs that were placed on you by police is considered evasion. You will get in trouble. I'm not a lawyer. Don't quote me. This just seems like common sense, but when we get in the law, things get really technical. This is just my suggestion. Do not go picking handcuffs that have been placed on you by police. You will get in more trouble. That is illegal. Other than that, I hope you all enjoyed this. Handcuffs are really fun, easy mechanisms, and as you've seen with the X22, there are really simple things that we can do to mitigate these exploits, but as we all know, a lot of these cuffs and a lot of simple locks are still in use today, and it's the most common things that we will see, such as the Smith Wesson Model 100 and the Chicago as well. Even the Chicago with the double pawls and the double locking mechanism that had 2 bars was still very pickable. So, I hope you enjoyed. Go out, get you some handcuffs. There's a website that I like to get them from. They'll give you free engraving. It's called handcuffwarehouse.com. All right, everyone. Thanks for watching.